Let's play some Lexibook Zeus console. Yay. Now we're greeted to a generic but a very sufficient loading screen. Now most of these games, again, are 16-bit. This device ran off 3 AAA batteries. Now, a couple complaints I have about this handheld, I'm just going to openly say, is, I think the games are really cool. Like, they're just really simplistic, arcadey style games. Now, a couple problems I have with the handheld is the controls. Now, again, you get what you pay for, as well as, there's about 20 games built into this device, which all varies from puzzles to, platforming elements. But the only complaint I truly have with this is the controls. The D-pad is unresponsive at some points. You have to really make sure you give it some love when you're slamming your fists down. I mean, other than that, I think the controls for the triangle or the diamond and circle are responsive. The rapid fire on the controls are really responsive. Just the D-pad itself, it requires a little bit of elbow grease to get the sucker going. Or if you're one of those shabby cleaners of these devices, I would go in there, and clean up the contact points and see if that would resolve the problem. I mean, other than that, the problem I had honestly with this handheld so far was the D-pad. That's it. I mean, the games themselves are simplistic, and most of them are really elemented around, children, or, casual, as you would call it, arcade fans. I mean, again, the genre of casual meets arcade is a point to be reckoned with. I mean, I'm looking at most of the games from this entire collection, and they're more, again, they're just children's style games. I mean, for example, this game here, you're trying to get rid of the bushes, and it's a little bit of troublesome to get most of the bushes removed, because you have to make sure there's nothing in the area, because I'm just learning this game as I'm playing it. And the obstacle of it obviously is to find all the food. This is my assumption anyway. And the graphics on this are really good. I mean, this is like Super Nintendo meets Sega Genesis, and it's just really nice and refreshing to look at the graphics. I mean, from this video's perspective, you might not see too much, but when you look at the handheld's screen, it looks pretty sharp. Now you see the title screen again is like over 20 games you can mess around with. Lucky Q, which is, it's sort of, you gotta move the shapes around and make sure, you put them in perfectly. Now again, the D-pad will give you a little bit of a run for your money, because it's a little troublesome. Now this game right here, it's sort of one of those brain teaser type of games, but it's a nice game nonetheless. I enjoy these style games. They're kind of kick back kind of thing. But again, not too much for the imagination, and it's sort of a pain in the arse, so to speak, to, work with the shapes and everything. Now, Plumber, this game, it's not really that broken at all. It's actually quite enjoyable. It's simple, platforming, arcadesy fun. And it does remind me majorly of the arcades. Now, I'm not going to say this character reminds me of Mario in any shape or form, because of the fact that, Mario does not wear a miner's hat. Reminds me a little bit of Dangerous Caves, or Dangerous Dave as I believe it was called. But nonetheless, I digress. I mean, most of the things I did notice about this game were, some of the platforming, it was just like, you have to be really freaking fast, and with the unresponsive D-pad, you're gonna just slam your head into a wall. Now, as you noticed before, those lasers did not go off before. I mean, I'm assuming they timed no matter what, but it was just like, whoa, how the heck you expect me supposed to do this crap? But Now this lasers right here are just like, whoa. Now you do have weapons in this game. You got those little wrenches there. You can just throw them at enemies and whoop, they're dead. I mean, this game really looks good. I mean, the controls are okay, because I, again, have to struggle with the D-pad. But there's a couple platforming issues I have with this game, and you're going to see right there. Now, you got to be really precise with the controls. You got to be really educated with them. Otherwise, you're going to get rocked. The only thing that's really going to kill you, not the enemies, it's just going to be mostly the spikes or the chasms or the holes here, which I'm just going to get rocked again, because, see, boop. Gotta be really precise. I gotta understand this is trying to go on the route of I want to be the guy, but Jesus. It was just balls to walls kind of gameplay. It's just like, you see, you gotta be really precise and very quick. It's challenging and good at the same time. I mean, it's the type of game I can kick back and play over and over. Once I figure out the patterns and everything, it'll be fun to try to see. Now this part right here is impossible. I don't care. Look at that, you don't even got enough time to get up there. See? There's no way. I think that's like the... Look at that, you can't get past those waters at all. I tried like several times. Previous to this recording, it was just I could not find it in myself to get past that part, so I just rage quit and played this game. Now this game reminds me a lot of Trampoline Terror meets Q*bert. It's a good game. I really like this one. I mean, there's only a couple problems. I mean, obviously the D-pad is the major culprit. Now, am I going to say that the controls probably going to be always unresponsive on every handheld? Not necessarily, because I've seen that most people didn't have the problem I have with the D-pad, but again, it's troublesome for me. It was a little bit of a problem. I mean, I'm very, very responsive mostly with most of these arcade-style games. It was just, you know, oi. And you'll notice a lot of these characters are kind of reverbs from most games you'd recognize. Now again, I understand the Chinese market, you know, they don't have much of a copyright for most of this, as I'm told and understood of basically being... Now this game I probably played for a little while longer, because it was just such a... It brought me back to Q*bert meets Trampoline Terror. Now if you have no clue what Trampoline Terror is, I'd recommend checking that game out. It's like a hidden gem of itself. Really fun platforming. Great Sega Genesis game. A little weird and obscure to most people, but it's, again, a pretty good game. This game is good in itself as well, it's just you gotta be really patient with it. And the 60-second timer. So yeah, the rest of this I'm just gonna let it go. I'm just gonna let you guys watch and rather not watch. Yeah, watch the rest of the footage and hope you guys enjoy it. As for myself, I'm just gonna kick back and let you guys listen and enjoy the rest of the sounds of this clip. 22 minutes to go, so enjoy, guys. Haha.
Yeah.